Well, hey everyone, and welcome back. Something that I've been feeling a lot lately is just that our house is in need of a bit of a refresh. And so today I want to do a whole house declutter. And I think I did one of these right after we moved in, but we've now been in our house for 8 months now, which is crazy how fast time has flown. But in that time, I really feel like I've gotten a better handle and a better grasp of what we actually use and don't use in our space. So today, I really just want to go through and identify and eliminate any areas where we might have excess around our house. And I'm really excited to get into this. I love the feeling of a freshly decluttered space. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and let's get started. Since we're already in the kitchen, let's go ahead and start here. I know for a fact that there are a couple of cupboards and drawers that desperately need going through. So what I'm going to do here is really just basically open up every single cupboard that we have and go through and figure out if there's anything that we don't need. So we're going to get to that in a second, but first I'm going to pop on some music. It is a really gross rainy day outside. I think we're getting the after effects of Tropical Storm Fred. I don't think it's a hurricane, but we've gotten a lot of rain over the past few days from that, so it's just kind of gloomy. So I'm going to pop on some nice chill music to kind of get me in the mood for decluttering, then maybe make myself a tea too, just so that I can have like vibes while decluttering. So let's set the mood and then get to decluttering. So I just finished going through all of the kitchen cabinets and found a ton of stuff to declutter. Let me flip you guys around and I'll show you guys exactly what we've decided to part with. Okay, so starting off over here, I have quite a few different pieces of tea-related paraphernalia. I have quite a few like single serving tea and coffee packets. So what I'm going to do is put these out on our counter, maybe for like 2 weeks. I'll give myself a time limit and I'll try to use up as much as possible during that time. And then anything that's left over after that, I'll let go of that. And then moving on down the line, I have quite a few cleaning cloths, dish towel that are either worn out or I use them and just realized I have things that I prefer using over those. So I'll be getting rid of those items. Let's see here. I have the knobs and poles from when we redid the ones in our kitchen. I do still have the previous ones that we had, as well as some extras. So I'm going to keep enough so that we can do our bathroom and the guest bathroom in the gold knobs and poles, but anything else I'm going to get rid of. We have some candlesticks, an extra vase, just some random things that I found around the kitchen that we're going to be either donating, selling, or recycling. And speaking of recycling, when we moved, there were quite a few manuals and things like that we got, and I wanted to wait a few months just to see if we would need any of them, just to make sure that everything was working properly. But now that we've been in the house for a while, I feel pretty safe in recycling those. So I'm just going to mass recycle all of the manuals and things like that we got from the move. So that takes care of the kitchen, but now I want to move on to our hallway and go through the buffet table. I have a feeling that there are a lot of things in there that are just either misplaced or need to be recycled. Okay, so as expected, we found plenty to declutter in our little front entryway cabinet area. Found a bunch of packaging that just needs to be recycled, some paper clutter that we just didn't deal with when it came into our house, so that needs to be recycled too. Some broken sunglasses, some lids. Apparently I have a thing for keeping the lids of random items. Battery that doesn't work. Some old masks. We have more than we need. And then I think it's another couple manuals. And that's really it. Also, as I was going through this cabinet, I found a ton of stuff that wasn't even ours that needs to be returned to its owner. So in this little top shelf of the cabinet, I put all of the things that we need to give to the respective person. We've got some Tupperware, a pair of pants, a pair of sunglasses, nasal spray, a phone. There's a lot of things that we need to give to the correct owner, so I just created a little space in here for that. Okay, next though, I want to move on to our bathroom and closet. Okay, so in the closet, a lot of my work was kind of done for me already. I recently did a clothing declutter, probably like a month ago now, so I didn't have that many clothes that I was personally looking to get rid of, but I did find some of Christopher's items that he wanted to declutter, and a bunch of things that had holes in them. He'd already gone and set them aside and just left them in the closet, so going to be getting rid of those. This is really random. There's a cushion. It's like a outdoor seat cushion cover that was sent to us when we ordered something else, and they just accidentally added this to our order. I have no use for it. I also recently bought a pair of shorts to replace these guys, so rather than just kind of accumulating practically a duplicate pair of shorts, I'm going to be decluttering those. And then finally, I have this little envelope clutch, which in the past probably 2 years, I haven't used it very many times, so I'm going to be getting rid of this too. So that's where we're at with the closet, and now I'm going to go into our bathroom and see if there's anything we need to get rid of in there. I don't think there will be anything, or if there is, there won't be much, but I do want to just kind of go through and double check. So as expected, there was not that much to declutter in the bathroom. Just found a couple of things like a duplicate nail clipper, an empty lint roller, a used up nail file, and then I found this bowl, which is really nice. It's like handmade in Charleston, South Carolina, so I really like it, but I don't have a use for it in our bathroom. So I think I'm going to see if I can find a good use for it in our house. If I can't find a use for it, then I'll go ahead and pass it along, but wanted to see if I can find a use for it first because it's really pretty. That's it for our bathroom, and now I'm in our bedroom, and there is really very, very little in here apart from our bed and bedside tables. But I did recently move my jewelry to the side table on my side of the bed, so I'm going to go through that to see if there's anything that I want to get rid of. And then also, let me show you this. We recently discovered a massive, well, it didn't start massive. It started as like a hole this big in our sheets on our bed, and I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. I can live with it. It's not that big of a deal. Well, in the past 3 days, it has turned from a hole this big to this big. So we're going to need to buy new sheets, and because of that, we will be getting rid of our current set. So I'll show you the hole in those, and yeah, it's just ridiculous how big it's gotten. Last night, I literally slept on top of the covers because I didn't want to go under the covers because the hole is so big. So our backup set of sheets is in the wash right now, and we're going to put them on the bed. But yeah, it's just hilarious how that happens, and now I need to go on the bedding hunt to see if I can find any. I really want to find good quality sheets for our bed. So if you have any good recommendations for that, definitely be sure to let me know in the comments because I'm going to be on the hunt for the next few days. I mean, just look at the size of this thing. It's pretty much the length of my arm. If you can tell from that, it's massive. So definitely as soon as our other set of sheets are washed, then I'm going to be getting rid of this set, and we'll add that to our decluttering pile. So I did find a couple of pieces of jewelry to let go of. I have this pair of earrings that I've kind of worn to death. Same thing goes for this necklace. It's all kinds of different colors at this point. It's supposed to be just gold, but definitely got some silver and some green going on. Finally, I have this little necklace. I just have others that I prefer wearing and find myself wearing those far more frequently. So I'm going to get rid of this one and hopefully pass that one on to a friend. So now I want to wrap this declutter up by taking a look at my office. So let's head over to my office now and finish up with this declutter. Okay, so we made it to the office, and the big thing I want to focus on behind me, you can see, is my closet. It is quite a mess right now. So not only do I want to declutter what's inside of it, but I also want to organize kind of everything that I decide to keep. So that's kind of the big thing for this room. But I do also want to briefly go through a bookshelf, just make sure that all of the books there are ones that we want to keep. Many of the ones on our bookshelf are kind of ones that Christopher has told me I'm not allowed to declutter, but I'm just going to go through and see if there are any that I want to declutter and that Christopher is on board with us letting go of. So that's the plan for this room. Let's get to decluttering. So as predicted, I found tons of stuff that needed to be decluttered in this room. Starting off with books, I found 3 books to declutter, one of which we literally had a duplicate of, so we'll probably try passing that on to a friend or someone else who can read it. And then the other 2 were books that I enjoyed, but I just don't see myself rereading, so I'm going to be decluttering those. And then I also found just a ton of random packaging. So I have an empty microphone box. Then I just found some other random like cardboard boxes that weren't storing anything. And then for some of the bigger items that I've decided to let go of, I have my Rode VidMic Pro. I used this for a long time for recording the audio of my videos, but I don't use it anymore, and it's literally just been sitting in my closet, not doing anything useful. So I'm probably going to sell this because I think these retail for a couple $100s. And the same thing goes for this tripod. It's great as a travel tripod, but I was looking for something that was just a little bit sturdier since I do a lot of my filming from home. So going to be decluttering this guy and again probably selling it. Next though, I have a big stack of different watercoloring pieces that I've done over the course of the past year. And honestly, I love watercoloring. It's one of my favorite hobbies, but it just doesn't make sense for me to keep every single piece of art that I've ever made. So I went through and picked out the ones that I did want to keep and some of my favorite pieces, but then for the ones that I've decided that I feel comfortable letting go of, I think what I'm going to do is either sell some of these on Instagram, and then for the ones that don't sell, I'll either gift them to friends or family or just recycle them. So that's my plan, and that's generally what I like to do with pieces of art that I'm not planning to keep. Obviously, I love keeping some of my favorites, but again, it just doesn't make sense to keep all of it. Okay, and then one last thing. This is really too big for me to hold up for you, but I've decided to get rid of the rug in this office. This used to be in our living room, and I felt like it worked really well in that space, but honestly, I'm not sure that it works well for this room. And it kind of gets bunched up really easily whenever I move my chair. And at the end of the day, it's just more of a hassle and a nuisance than something I actually enjoy having in my space. So going to be moving on from that too. So now what I'm going to do is just take all of this stuff to the kitchen, which is just kind of my like command central where I've been taking all of the things that I've decided to declutter, and I'm going to bring it all in there. And then from there, just kind of figure out what I'm going to do with everything. And I want to create different piles for what I want to sell, what I want to donate, what I want to recycle, and what I want to throw in the trash. So let's head to the kitchen and do that now. And then one last thing for our living room was we decided to get rid of this blanket because even though it's beautiful and really soft, it sheds absolutely everywhere and drives Christopher pretty crazy. So we're going to let go of that too. But here's everything that we decided to declutter. So what I'm going to do now is just sort it into piles for selling, for donating, for recycling, and for throwing out. Okay, so I just sorted everything into piles. Let me show you kind of how I broke this down. So starting over here, this is going to be my trash pile. I have a whole bunch of things that need to be broken down and recycled. Some of this does need to be shredded, so I'll go through that and figure out what needs to be recycled versus shredded. This is all clothing and just textiles that need to be recycled. So I think I'm going to take these to our local H&M and just take advantage of their in-store recycling because most of these either have holes in them or are very worn out, etc. I have a big pile of things to be donated. These are things that just don't have a ton of monetary value but are in good condition. I have some things that I'm going to pass on to friends and family. And then finally, this is my sell pile. So yeah, that pretty much makes up everything that we're going to declutter today. Honestly, I'm a bit surprised by how much there is, especially of random paper clutter, but feeling really good about it. So that's it. Our whole house is now decluttered, and honestly, it just feels like this weight off my shoulders. A lot of the things that we're getting rid of today were honestly just taking up space and kind of annoying me in the background. So it feels really good just to be moving on from them. But that's really it. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along today and hopefully gives you some decluttering inspiration and motivation to potentially go through and declutter your own home. It's definitely one of those things that isn't always fun in the moment, although personally I kind of enjoy it, but afterwards that feeling of just a refreshed space is so incredible. So if you're planning on decluttering your own home, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Or if you recently decluttered, what did you get rid of? Be sure to comment that down below. And if you enjoyed today's video and haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. That's everything for today's video. Thank you so much for coming along with me. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.